Shalom, shalom, everyone. My name is Jen Wayesu, and I'm a member of Property Altar Fellowship. Welcome back to the Bible series, the daily devotions. So today we're going to talk about the book of Genesis. As we all know, the book Genesis means the beginning, and this is where the Lord created the heaven and earth. He created everything in the beginning. So as we all read, the Lord created everything with a word, let there be. So when he was saying that let there be light, there was light. Let there be an ocean, there was the sea, there was everything that the Lord created. He basically used the word let there be. So after that, we see Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, where they were given everything in every tree in the garden for them to eat any fruit that they wanted, apart from the only tree that was in the middle of the garden. But after that, the serpent tempted Eve, and of course they ate the fruit that was forbidden, and that is how they were chased out of the Garden of Eden. And we see them giving birth to two children, which was Abel and Cain. And then after that, because Cain became so envious of Abel because of the sacrifice that he used to give to the Lord, and the Lord was happy with the sacrifices, he decided to kill his brother Abel, which was the first sin in the Bible, murder. After that, then we want to talk about Abraham. Abraham was God's favorite, or God's friend, as we all read from the Bible. And then Abraham later had a wife, Sarah, and they were given a son, Isaac. So Isaac, after that, you remember that because Isaac came in their very, very old age, he was so dear to them and they loved him so much. So the Lord, because Abraham was his friend at the beginning, so he said, let me check, or let me test my friend Abraham and see if he is still my friend, given the son that I gave him. So that is when God said, Abraham, I want you to sacrifice your son Isaac. And because Abraham loved the Lord and he had so much faith in him, he did not hesitate. So he went ahead and he was going to sacrifice his son Isaac. And of course the Lord said, I can see that you still believe in me and you have faith in me. Do not sacrifice your son. So that is how Isaac was not sacrificed. Later on in the Bible, when you continue to read, then Isaac became older and he gave birth to two sons, which was Esau and Jacob. Now, I think the most read, chapter, or the most story that is known about Jacob and Esau is that Jacob stole Esau's blessing. But how did he steal it? So when Isaac was very old in the age, he became blind, or he lost his sight. In that way, he told his older son Esau to go and hunt for an animal, because Esau was a hunter, to make soup for him to eat before he blesses Esau. But near there was their mother, so he heard what Isaac told his son Esau. So because the mother favored Jacob and the father favored Esau, she went to Jacob and told him what the father had said. So they went ahead and prepared soup, because Esau was out in the bush trying to look for an animal to kill and prepare for his father before he dies and blesses him. Now, because Isaac had lost his sight, Jacob's mother said that, now Jacob said, Mom, remember that Esau is hairy. So if my father touches me and I'm not hairy, he will not bless me. He will know that I am Jacob. So he said, do not worry. Then the mother clothed Jacob with a fur, or something that's furry, a wild animal skin. So when Isaac touched Jacob, he felt the hairy. So that is how Jacob got blessed instead of Esau being blessed. So when Esau returned from the farm, or from the bush, he found that Isaac had given out all his blessings. So that is how Esau became so heartbroken, because he had been betrayed by his own brother, twin brother actually, Jacob. So Jacob flew out from their home and went to his after Isaac and his wife saw that Jacob has stolen Esau's blessing. They flew him to Laban's place. Now after that, let's skip on to Joseph, who was Jacob's son. Now remember that Joseph was loved so much by his father Jacob, because he was an intelligent son, and also he had his own robe. But he was hated so much by his brothers because he was the dreamer. He used to dream prophetically, and most of the things that he dreamt actually come to pass. So he was hated by his brothers. Now one day, Jacob sent Joseph to go and see his brothers in the fields and, check on them and take food for them. Now when they saw him in a furrow, the Bible says that they said among themselves, "Let us kill him and take his robe to our father," and said that he was killed by a wild animal. Now one of them said, "Why do we have to spread blood onto our hands? Why not sell him to the Egyptians who were passing by?" So they said that's a good idea. And now that is how Joseph was sold onto the Egyptians. Because God's blessings and favor were onto Joseph, he was sold to the Egyptians, but he got favor with them, where he went into Potiphar's house, and after a short while he was tempted by Potiphar's wife, where she wanted to sleep with him, but David was able to flee from him. And Potiphar's wife led Joseph into prison by saying that he wanted to rape him. Now after that, he did not take too much in prison, because he was able to interpret dreams for the people who were in prison. And shortly after that, he was called out to come and interpret the king's dream, and that is how he gained favor in the king's eyes, and David was made governor for that territory. Now after that, after a short while, there was famine, where there was shortage of food in Egypt and in the neighboring cities and states. That's where Joseph's brothers came to ask for food from Egypt. Now because Joseph was in charge of all the grains, all the food that was kept in the stores to be able to feed the people, his brothers came, and he was able to notice them before they actually noticed them. Now, so after Joseph had noticed his brothers, he was filled with so much love, because he had messed them with emotions. Remember, they were a bit older, so they might have not recognized him, but he did recognize him because he was younger by then. Now Joseph, we see that he loved them so much that he started giving them food without paying. He took the money and told the servants to put the money back into the sack so that they can take it back home. Now to conclude this, Joseph now asked his brothers to go back and bring his youngest, who was Benjamin, because they were from the same mother, and he wanted to make sure. Now, what I would like us to get from this book of Genesis, first of all, we see Abraham. What I want us to learn from Abraham is the faith. Abraham had the faith where he was asked to, sacrifice his own son, his dear son, his only one son that he had, Isaac. He was asked to sacrifice him, but he did not hesitate, because he knew that the Lord gives and the Lord takes. So he was not hesitant. He was willing to give out his son. Another thing that I want us to also think about is forgiveness. Now we see the forgiveness between Jacob and Esau, where Jacob took Esau's blessing and he flee. He thought maybe Esau was so mad at him, but when he met him, the Bible says that Esau threw his arms around Jacob and he hugged him because he missed him, so he forgave him for what he had done before. And also Joseph, when he saw his brothers, when you continue to read in those chapters, the Bible says that he called them into his house and he had dinner with them. He already forgave them for what they had done. Now, when they did that, when they sold him, they thought maybe they were doing him a disservice, but they never knew that the Lord was actually preparing them for what was going to come. Because if they hadn't sold David to Egypt, if there was the famine, nobody was going to be there to help them. But also, I want you to remember that each and every place that the Lord puts you in, or each and every situation that you're in, just know that it is the will of the Lord, and He knows what's best for us. So let's just put our trust in the Lord. Let us also learn how to forgive. Thank you so much. I hope this helped you. Have a blessed day.